Today on Core Conversations, we have Teresa Ellis. Teresa sells confidence as she sells her Pilates packages. We talked about wading our way through the negative messages about body image and Pilates lineages to find our true self. The people that attend Teresa's classes are genuine people trying to live their best lives, and Teresa gives them a place to do so. Teresa is a trailblazer, cutting down that grass and leading the way for people behind her. And she asks herself why she has to be the one to walk at the front of the line. The answer is simple. Only the strong ones carry the blade. Enjoy the conversation.
I am Teresa Ellis. I am the owner of Pilates Barres and Jams in Oakland, California. And my mission and goal in life is to literally make Pilates accessible for everyone. So I stepped away from the status quo model of Pilates and I focused on my communities, which is Black folks, brown folks, queer folks, fat folks, disabled folks, trans folks. I'm learning sign language so I can get, so I can start teaching in sign language because that's my favorite language. People with disabilities, like all the people who are welcomed but not really welcomed in most fitness areas come and hang out with me. And people who are just want to just be in a real spot that doesn't focus on like aesthetics. It focuses on strength and feeling good in our bodies. So that's what I do. That's who I roll with.
Nice. That's who I roll with.
It's my strong squad. That's who I hang out with.
Yeah. And it's funny you say like welcome but not really welcome. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, just like being, Black, for me, I would go into these very nice boutique spots. I'll never forget the first time I took my first bar class and I walk in and they're like, oh, hi. And I'm all, hey. And so they're like, oh, like, why are you here? I'm like, can I curse? Is it okay? Is it okay for me to curse? You're like, bitch, I'm here to work out. Like, I'm here to do what all these other people are here to do, which is feel good in my body. And, and so it was that, and, because of the fact that I experienced that almost every day of my life, I was like, and when I fell in love with fitness, I decided that if I ever had my own space, that I would not have that. That would not be the vibe in my space. Everyone is welcome. All people are welcome. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind rolling with us, I call us freaks in the most loving way, but if you are down with people who are alternative, as most folks will call us, but folks who just love how they love, exist how we exist, are how we are, like you can hang out with us. And, there's no judgment. You can't roll in judging because you will know that that we don't roll like that and you won't come back. And we watched it happen. We're like, oh, hey, we're excited to have them there. And they're like, oh, this is not my spot. And we're like, yep. And then they never come back. And we're like, great, because people filter themselves out who are not supposed to be there. Right. Kind of like the opposite, too. Like when I would go to places and I'd be like, that's not my jam. That's not my spot. And then we would roll out. So it's the opposite. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you've carved a niche.
I carved a niche, but I am the niche. So I didn't carve anything. I just live there. And I just, wanted to hang out with my peeps.
Right, exactly. And there's something to be said for the saying, like, I am the niche, because we sometimes strategically we're like, I'm going to reach out to these people and these are my target market. And you put a circle around these certain people that you feel you're going to resonate with and connect with, but it becomes more of a strategy out there instead of just looking around and saying, well, who's in my camp right now? Let's just get more of these people. And it'll just naturally happen that way.
I want to work out with people that look like me. I want to work out with people who love like me. I want to work out with people who are real like me. Like, I don't know about you, but have you ever had 8 people curse you out all at the same time? Those are my people. That, it's beautiful when they're working out, and a place where people are free to express themselves is, for me, first of all, if they're cursing me out, I know that they're breathing.
Right. There you go.
Right.
Check.
So I'm like, great, keep it coming. And it's good. And so to be able to be freeing in who they are, how they express themselves, how they work out. Like, I don't judge how they work out. I'm just there that I'm happy that they're there and that they chose me to do it with. Yes, I'm so humbled. I'm humbled by my strong squad. I think about them often, and they bring me so much joy. And sometimes I move to tears at, first of all, the caliber of these amazing people that choose to come and work out with me, and the fact that that I get to put Pilates on their bodies, because a lot of them, it's their first time doing Pilates because of the fact that they never felt welcome in other spaces. So that's what's great.
That is a real treat. I've been thinking more and more about that in terms of the people that I work with, from the perspective of introducing Pilates to them, instead of us, looking for these people that, know Pilates and showing them like the next level, and that kind of elitist, like, let's get them up to that next level. So, well, no, how about we introduce the masses to this wonderful work that we know, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I know what it's done for me, which is like, it's healed my knees and my injuries. And so I'm like, wow, this thing is amazing. And since sheltering in place, right, being in the house all day and doing Pilates all the time and teaching online, my knees are even getting more healed because I'm taking the time to, and I'm like, what? Like, I can feel it in my body. I haven't had hardly any pain these last 10 weeks, which has been lovely. And then I know that it's also working for my squad, right? Because they tell me, like, I feel better. I feel stronger. I feel good in my body. And I'm like, yay. One of my clients, her name is Mia. She's freaking brilliant. And she tells this story of where she went on a writing retreat because she was writing a book. And she locked herself out of the house that she was in.
Oh, no.
And she couldn't get back in, and she was like in the forest out in the middle of nowhere, and the only window was open was this little window to the bathroom up on this ledge, and she had to like climb it up. And she's like, if it wasn't for you, Teresa, and Pilates, I would not have gotten up there. And I was like, yes, that's right, honey.
Mama Blackbird, represent.
And so that's why I do things. So she didn't have her phone, she didn't have anything, I don't think. And so she just had to figure it out, and she did. And it was because she was getting stronger that she was able to take care of herself in that way. So
of course.
I
love it. I used to say it to my clients all the time, like, we train for this. Like, when it comes like, hey, this happened, and like, I was supposed to have 5 people helping me move this soil from the front of my house to my back of my house. I had this, and I had to do it by myself, and my back's not sore today. I'm like, we trained for that moment. That's exactly it.
That's the main reason. Like, my whole ideal is like, aesthetically, you look good when you feel good, right? It's an internal feeling more than an aesthetic feeling.
Yes.
So
okay, so I like that. I like that. Look good. So if I was to say to you, how would you describe a great body?
Confidence is sexy. So there you go. It doesn't matter what the body looks like. It's it's how you hold it.
Yes.
Because you could have the most quote unquote fit, strong looking person, right? And if they're totally insecure and not feeling themselves, it's going to show, and it's not going to look hot.
No.
And then you can have what, this industry says is like, not fit, deconditioned, whatever. Yes. And they're walking around being amazing and badass. And you're like, yes, hello, like confidence. Confidence is so much more sexier than swag. I mean, no, swag is sexier than like aesthetics. It's an internal deliciousness that oozes out. If you're not oozing the good, like, what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a direct quote that just popped up on our comment section from Sonia.
It's true, Sonia. Confidence is sexy. It's, man, an embodied body is a sexy body, right? When you're feeling embodied the whole entire time. So it's good. So I really, and that's the message that I have. It's like, I have on, when we were in studio on a chalkboard in my in my studio, it says thinness is a white supremacist beauty standard, right? And that's
Yes.
by the sex therapists, because I follow them here on Instagram. And I was like, what? And I just wrote it on the board. It was the first thing I wrote on the board. And then underneath it, I said, stronger is a Pilates Bar and Jams, beauty standard.
Yes.
And it's been on the wall forever now, because it was the first quote I put up there when I painted the chalkboard, and it has not come off, because everyone was like, I love this. This is perfect. And I was like, it's true. Like, thinness is like, first of all, who has time to do all that work? Like, try and look a certain way to be accepted by people who really don't give a fuck about me. So I'm just going to do my life, be my amazing self, and roll with my crew. And, and if those folks want to roll too, they can, but they just got to roll up and act right, which is what they do when they come in here, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah. Those are the conversations I have with my wife so many times about who actually sets that message and why do we listen to their message? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things that, like, it just frustrates me, not necessarily that it's the message is sent out, is that we actually choose to listen to it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really,
Yeah, and adhere to it and really strive for it. And it's funny because, like, folks are like, this makes me this and this makes me look this way. And, ever since like we started sheltering, I've been getting more ads for fitness on my timeline, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, who's this person? And they're like, lose weight with me. I'm like, they clearly don't know who their target market is right here, because that's not me at all. Because literally, I will be eating candy as my people will walk into the studio, and I'm like, you want some? And they're like, yeah. And so we're eating candy, and then I'm like, okay, let's work out. And then, I bought cupcakes for my crew. Like, it's not even, I don't know, but that standard is exhausting. It's, I have better things to do, like, than think about how to hate myself. I mean, I already have society telling me to hate myself on many accounts because of who I am.
Yes, there's enough messages that way already.
Yeah, I don't need another one that's voluntary, Yeah, yes. I didn't volunteer for that role.
So I love asking people this question, simply because you have I love your strong squad already, and I haven't met a single one of them. Who is your ideal client? When people come in the door, who's the person you're like, we will train for free the rest of my life because you are just so awesome?
Oh my gosh. I'm like looking at, I see all of their faces right now. Gosh, that's really hard. My ideal client is a person who wants to feel good in their bodies. First of all, in terms of like why they're coming to me. They want to feel good in their body. They want to be stronger. They have tried other places, have been discouraged because that place wasn't as welcoming and warming, just aren't aware. So studio owners aren't aware, right, of the things that they're doing when folks are coming through. And so that's my ideal client, the person who's like, I went to that place and they sucked. Like the instruction was good, but it didn't help me because they didn't adjust me. They didn't help me. They didn't know what to do with me. They were just like confused because of my body, how I presented, how I looked, like all of the things. And so I'm here to I'm paying them for a service. And then they're not providing that service. And so, first of all, that's my ideal client. Now, within that, who are those people in my community? Black folks, Black and brown, Indigenous folks, queer folks, trans folks, fat folks, folks with disabilities, all the folks who, all the peoples really. Like, anyone that wants to work out with me can work out with me, but you cannot roll through with diet culture talk. You cannot roll through body shaming yourself or others. You cannot roll through, being racist, right? You cannot roll through, like, just being an asshole, basically. Just don't be an asshole and you can come through.
That's a prerequisite.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, like in my space, like, you know, you do not, you will not know that it's owned by a Black person. I have Black art on the wall. You know, it's really like, it just is what it is. And so don't come in here expecting something and not giving it back in kind, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then give it back in kind. So so my ideal client is me, and I found all of them, and they are amazing. They are loud, they are proud, they are confident, they already had an amazing sense of humor before they walked in.
Yes.
They already are outspoken. They speak their mind, even if they disagree with each other. They're community oriented. Like they care about each people, like literally care about people. And it's not just about them. Like people who are, I don't want to say selfless, but they're aware and, you know, giving and kind and loving and really genuinely care about humanity.
Authentic.
And it's not the self. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. People that are you or people that want to be like you?
No.
Now, and listen, hold on. So when I say not be like you, not like physically be you, but want to come to that place of being confident in their skin, want to come to that place of being confident in themselves, want to come to that place of not caring about the messages that are out there and finding them, like people that are on that journey as opposed to, or people that, you know, that's what I mean by that.
Or also people who are already on that journey and just want to continue it in a different space and then do Pilates.
Yes.
Like people who already live at that address and and then they're like, oh, here I am. Here's this part too in my little neighborhood of where I live in this place of me just being on this journey and being aware and confident and awesome. Where can I go get that in my fitness as well?
Yeah.
A different message of who I already am and what I represent.
Right. Love it.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you found Pilates?
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. This is a great story. So I started teaching fitness in 2008. I started teaching bar.
Okay.
Right. So I took a bar class and I was like, this is amazing. Because I love the fact that it really makes you like really present in your body. And then I went to a friend's house and I was talking about this bar studio and she goes, oh, I know that person. I know that owner. We trained in Pilates together. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I started teaching it and then blah, blah, blah. So then I went and rode my bike to LA from San Francisco with AIDS Life Cycle. Amazing experience. I never thought that I could do that, but I'm strong and I didn't have a bike. So I got a bike 8 weeks before we left and our training rides were high mile rides. So my strong was like riding these bikes all over the place and rode my bike to LA 545 miles. I did it. And then 6 months later, I'm walking. I could not bend my knees. Got there on sheer will, passion, and strength, but my body was not conditioned to do that.
Right, yes.
So my body started breaking down and bar started hurting me and I could not do bar anymore. So then I was struggling and did everything, tried to go to chiropractors, tried to get massages, physical therapy. No one could help me. And then I was talking to my friend Mel, who's also a personal trainer, because I was a personal trainer. I'm still a personal trainer at that time. And we were saying, like, we need something with longevity. We can't be old ass ladies, you know, being personal trainers. We need something. We need to be like yoga teachers or Pilates instructors. Like, we need to like,
like, let's play the long game here. Yes.
And I was like, yeah, we need to do that. I was like, we need to like think big. Like, it's not just about, I'm like, I mean, yes, there are older folks, you know, lifting. I get it. But I was like, I'm not trying to be that person. I'm not trying to be teaching PRX class when I'm 60. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And so I was like, I need a new avenue. Well, I went to Mexico. This is a crazy story, but I went to Mexico, ran into a woman. So I used to dance burlesque back in the day. Right. Okay. And so I ran into a woman I hadn't seen in a million years who was staying at the same place that I was staying at for her wedding. She got married the day before I arrived. And I was like, oh my God. So we hung out, whatever. We come back to the States And she calls me and she's like, I want to train you in Pilates. And I was like, what? She's like, I'm a white woman and I cannot go into Black communities teaching Pilates because they're going to be like, who is this white woman trying to teach me Pilates? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, please let me train you in Pilates. And I was like, okay. And she's like, and don't worry, I'll do it for free. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. I go, I really appreciate that, but I'm a person who, if it's free, that's awesome, and I'm down with it, but I would love to be able to pay you something. And she was like, great, $15. Wow, and so nice. I was like, okay. And so we spent a year together, 1 day a week. Every Friday I would teach at my corporate job and then go in the San Francisco and then go to the Mission and meet with her, and we would train. And my knees started to feel better, right? Yes. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is healing me. Mm-hmm. And it was great. And I couldn't continue because the schedule that we had wasn't working for me because I live in Oakland. She lived in San Francisco. My work schedule was crazy, and I had to find a Pilates certification here on the East Bay. Yes. And I found that, and I continued with my training. And so that's how I got into a Pilates, is because I told a friend, this is what I need to do in order for me to stay in fitness, because I love fitness and I love the work that I do. That manifested into this white woman coming to me and being like, I want to train you because I can't go into your communities. And I was like, yes. And so amazing. That's how it started. And that's where I am now. Wow. Yeah. It's pretty magical. That's so magical. I feel very blessed and stoked to be able to have that, and to just know and recognize that there are people out there, who are, who see the things, who aren't just like, I'm just going to go, and be them. It's like those white people that go to Africa and be like, I'm going to go do this stuff with the Black people in Africa. Look at me taking pictures with children. And you're like, no. No. Stop. Don't do that. So it was really nice. And I was like, great. And she was like, I recognize and know that there are not a lot of Black Pilates instructors. And then it was after then that I met Sonia, Black Girl Pilates, 3 years ago. And now the rest is history. And here I am talking to you.
Yeah, Sonia is just amazing at just connecting people and connecting the community. And I wouldn't have met, she got this ball rolling. And Sonia, I know you're watching, and I have to thank you so much. Every time someone asks me, how did this core conversation start? It's from me having a conversation with her and then looking and seeing someone pop up on it saying, you need to talk to this person. You need to meet with this person. You need to have a conversation with this person. And that person talked to someone else, and they mentioned someone else, and they mentioned someone else. And we are making this Pilates world smaller and tighter and more authentic and more connected, and blurring these lines. And she's a catalyst for that.
She is the catalyst for that. And I love her so much. She's my Pilates baby mama. We're each other's baby's mamas. And I love her so much. I love her so much. And I love what she's doing. And I love her workshop coming up this weekend. And, for the white folks and the Pilates and the Pilates studio owners who, need to get their stuff together. I really am stoked to know her. I feel very blessed and fortunate. And it was so nice to know that I wasn't the only one. Because sometimes teaching in these boutique fitness spots, you're the only one. Mm-hmm. And that gets hard. And to know that there's a whole community. And like you mentioned before you brought me on, everyone's not a superstar, but everyone is a superstar. Martin, I never knew how petty an industry was until I got into Pilates. And I was like, holy shit, these people are petty. I knew fitness was a toxic industry, but my God, I had no idea. I was like, oh, there are superstars. I'm like, I don't have time for all that bullshit. Like, I am not going to star worship. I'm not going to decide which classical and contemporary, like, who.
No.
I don't have time for that. I have this person has pain. I need to help them, and I will do whatever I need to do to help them not be in pain.
Yes.
I got other things to think about. And that snobbiness, like if you have to decide which is better, you need to get a new hobby. Like you need to like read a book. Like there's something needs to happen.
Yes.
It's
and the funny thing, much like we're saying about the media and getting frustrated with the message and people hearing the message and believing the message, I've had some really, really amazing people on the show. And I've heard people tout those people as those stars, but when you talk to these people, they're like, I just wanted to stay home with my kids. I just wanted, like, there's a sense that they don't esteem themselves as such, but there's people out there with lower self-esteem that project that out, that then put that out there and then push people to strive. And there's this vicious cycle and no one stops to think about where it's coming from, but we just keep absorbing these messages.
Right. It's weird.
It's weird.
And it's yeah. Like, and the whole lineage thing, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm like, what? Does that really matter? Like did I meet this person? I've never met this person.
No.
And like, I don't know. It's just weird.
It's weird. When you're saying earlier about confidence and how sexy and attractive confidence is, the thing that's attractive to me is someone who has an appetite for learning, someone who is on a quest for knowledge, someone who is always just striving for more. And if that is your quest, a lineage doesn't mean anything. Contemporary classic doesn't mean anything. You're on a search for knowledge, and you will take and glean knowledge from wherever you can get it from. So exactly. I respect the classical. I respect all those different things, and I think that that's a language that we should learn, understand, and respect. However, we can't box people in with it. We can't label people with it, and we can't be prejudiced against people outside of that label or lineage.
It's true, because my peoples would not be able to do that. My squad could not just do the classical repertoire. Their bodies won't allow for that. It needs some grace.
Now, but this is the thing, and this is I think where I'm always on that quest for knowledge. I would challenge that, because you as an instructor should have in your toolbox the ability to navigate around the things that they can't do and get them through the work at different places in your studio.
True, and that's true, and that's what I do. But in the exact order that it goes in,
you can't know who's like. That's. I mean, it's good to know that, but like you can't that's. I don't know how to describe that, but that's like. I don't know. It's like riding your bike from San Francisco, and everyone wants to have. Why is no one riding a bike that was invented that's made out of like tube steel anymore? They're riding carbon fiber bikes. They're riding bikes that are more adapted to their bodies, that are more efficient and all those different things.
Exactly.
So it's still a bike, and you respect where it came from, but you have to adapt it to the body that's in front of you.
Exactly. You got to teach the body that's in front of you. And I think that sometimes folks are lazy.
Yep.
And they don't want to. They want to do the fancy things. And this is what I've noticed in my, almost 12 years of teaching fitness, is that people get bored and they're like, I'm bored. I'm tired of teaching it like this. And I'm like, if you're bored, that means you're not trying to help your people.
Right.
Because you should be able to find the simple, like I love taking basic classes. I love it because it's so hard, right? Like advanced, sure, that's great. But basics classes, you're just like, you have to get like all the way in there. And like the beauty in that is like, you could do all the fancy, but is the fancy going to help me pick up a pin off the ground? Am I going to be like, doing all that shit to get the pin? No.
No, exactly. And I love that. I think that's the true challenge of an instructor when you can unpack 6, 7 exercises, stretch it out for 50 minutes, and make people sweat as they are exposed for their muscle imbalances. That's true coaching. I love that
It's
stuff.
so exciting. And I get to do that very soon to a whole new group of people that I'm super excited about because I love beginner folks. I love beginner folks. I love reintroducing people to their bodies, right? And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I'm doing that. One of my strong squad members, her name is Koja. She's a butch lesbian and she's been training with me for a while. And she
Mhm.
asked me to create a butch class for butch lesbians
Okay. Yeah.
starting next Saturday. And so it's just going to
In your
be,
space, or you going to somewhere?
we're doing it online.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, online. And so I get to share my love of this fitness and the love of this that Koja has for it too with
Mhm.
people to who've never done it before. And you know, she
Yes.
said that like, you know, butches have a lot of stuff that's going on for them. And she said
Hmm.
it's making her a better butch in how
Yes.
she shows up and how she feels in her body and how she's able to like walk in the world, right? That
Yes.
swag. 'Cause she already has the swag, like that's
Hmm.
not the problem. But sometimes folks have swag, but they also have pain, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so you want to be able to like meld the two
Hmm.
and so have folks continue because a lot of people disassociate from their bodies and so it's just to like have that trickle back down and to be
Yes.
completely full and whole in yourself
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
your whole
Yeah.
being.
Right.
So you're going to add some room up in there.
Do you have anyone that you are mentoring in the same way that someone tapped you to mentor?
Oh, no,
Hmm.
no, no,
Not yet.
no. Yeah, not yet. I'm not, let's just say this. I mean, I probably am able to, but I probably am not ready for that yet.
Okay.
Like, that's a big space to hold, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if I do that, I don't want to like not come correct. I want to be able to come correct if I
Hmm.
did that for someone to be fully 100% available for them.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. Like, I don't think I have the capacity to do that, you know,
Which
at this
way?
time.
Like capacity in which way?
Um, I don't know. First of all, no one's ever asked me that question, so I'm kind of like, what? I feel like you just
I
stumped me.
know. There you
Oh,
go.
good job, high five. So you stumped me, and I'm like, oh, damn. Well, maybe that's something I should. But no, no one's ever come, and I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know what I mean, you know, I'm a bossy person. You know, Sonia, I'm always like yelling at her for something. You need to be doing this. But not in a like in a more constructive or
Formalized.
more organized way. No.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, no. But yeah, thanks for asking. Thanks for planting that seed. It's not like I had enough stuff in the garden. Thanks, Mom.
I got you.
Thanks.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I think you'd be great at it.
thank you. It would
I think
probably
you
be
would.
fun.
It
It
would
would probably,
totally be fun.
yeah,
You
we
know,
would be
that's
laughing.
yes. And you'd
A
be
lot of
hard on them
laughter.
at times, and then you'd snap the line with them, and then you'd let them go free, and you'd pull them back in, and you'd
Mhm.
show them,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, well, now that you think about it, I have a child, so yes, I'm mentoring my kid. So there
okay,
you go.
yeah,
I'm parenting. That's, you know,
yes,
he's
that's
22.
the
Very
highest
interesting.
calling. Hmm.
Ooh, Lord, the toughest
Yeah,
job you love to hate.
right. The what's that saying? Um, oh, from a Karate Kid, right? Like when the teacher is ready, no, when the student is ready, the teacher appears,
Nate, exactly.
right? So, and
Exactly.
those everyone in your community, someone's gonna be like, I can totally do this as a career, and you will be like, let's go.
I would love that. That would be great. It's nice to I definitely see myself as a trailblazer, which is it's lonely. It's lonely being the person with the machete clearing a path for the peoples, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but it's so great to turn around and see folks walking a path that was never there.
Yeah.
But it's you're just always like, great, yay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, oh, where were you when I wanted to do this with someone?
Right, yes.
Still hand in hand with somebody, but I think some people are afraid to take risks, and that's one thing I'm not afraid to do is risk. Like,
yes.
I want to do that, and I go and do it. And sometimes my friends are like, the hell are you doing? I'm all this. They're like, weren't you just doing something else? I'm like, yeah. They're like, and I'm like, yeah. So like my whole thing is before I found fitness and now Pilates, before I jumped around in jobs a lot. And my friends are like, you change jobs a lot. I'm like, why should I stay in something that I don't like? Like, right. That would just kill my soul. I tried to work in an office. Mm-mm. The only office I work in is teaching the corporate fitness. Like, that's it.
Yes.
Like, nothing else. Like,
right.
That's not my personality. I'm an artist, right? And so these bodies are like my clay that I get to mold, and I get excited, and I get excited watching people make the things do exactly what I say. It's like I'm a choreographer, artist, reach, do the things.
Yes. Yeah.
So excited to watch people get it.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things I've realized, Teresa, just as I've been hanging out with more people like yourself who are artists, and this is that, I'm a strategist. I look at people and I'm like, all right, I am getting you here. How do we get there? What exercise do you need to set up with to get the person to get to this point? And the more that I've been thinking about it from that strategy standpoint, I was like, no, you're an artist too. Like you are, you're pulling on that creative side and just seeing how, and you see the picture of your person when they walk in the door, where you want to get them in 50 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever the case is. And you painted the picture before they've taken their shoes off.
Yep. Yeah, which is why I have a cutoff time for all of my classes, about 30 minutes before class starts, specifically online, so I know who's in the room.
Yes.
And so I have the plan, and then I know who's in the room, and then I know I can build on that plan because of who's going to be in the class. And and it's lovely. Like last night, they were so amazing. And I'm applauding them. I'm always giving them standing ovations.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm always screaming, yes! Like, it's like, oh, it's so lovely because of the fact that all of my strong squad has so many different body types. Yes. And to see the same movement come through all these different body types with such precision and grace.
Yes.
I'm getting goosebumps right now. It just makes me so excited to see that. And I'm like, yes, like I am helping people, tap in to that part of them that's so badass. And I don't even think they realize how amazing they look. I have to tell them every day that they look so good. Like, and I think now in this moment, and this is like even before I got into Pilates when I was teaching bar, like I think that my clients now, they work harder because they know that I'm watching them. And now they want to do good because they like to be like, good job, Martin. I see you. That looks good. They're like,
I got my shout out.
Guys. And so, being able to watch, and I was nervous when I went online that I wasn't going to be able to it wasn't going to be as great. And it's just as great. Like now they're forced even more so to internalize and really feel themselves. And I'm stoked for them. Like they are getting so complicated. It is just beautiful. I love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. It's almost like back in the day hearing your name on the radio. You're just like, oh, I got it. Right? That's
right. It's like it's being being seen, right? That's when you know that someone
Yes.
sees you. And you're like,
Yes.
hey, I see you over there. I see you. Like, I see you, Martin. That looks
Mhm.
good. Great job, Martin. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
they're watching. So you'll always
Right.
want to do good and internalize and focus if you know that
Mhm.
someone's watching you the whole time.
Right. Right. Exactly. And the flip side to that is how amazing people are doing simply because there are less distractions in their life right now.
Yeah. I mean, less and more, right? Like the
Right.
distraction is different. You
Yes.
know, I've never been so busy in my house before
Hmm.
because there's not really much structure. Like it's not like
Yes.
I'm going to the corporate gig and then I'm going here and I'm a dawdler, like I'm always out running errands in the car and like that's not happening anymore. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm doing so much now. And so in regards to like teaching and like thinking and all of that. But yeah, I mean the less it's different, but also some people are like, I love it that I can just turn on the computer and
Mm.
do it. It's just cut out and one of my clients said it cut out an hour and a half of my commute time, like looking for
Yes.
parking, looking to leave, da, 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 then there's traffic, blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
so I'm like, okay, so I'm not really in a rush to reopen,
Hmm.
but you know, people in a tiny little space. It's like maybe 300 square feet, maybe five,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
maybe it's little.
Yeah.
Um, and so, and I squeezed, you know, 4 reformers and a Cadillac in this very, you know, specific way in here that if I had to do spacing, it would be privates.
That's right. And you have to stand outside and yell for,
Right,
like,
through the
yeah.
window. You're doing great.
Right.
It'll be like an online experience with
Yes.
me like, looking at the window, being like, I see you. That looks really great. That looks really great.
Right.
Good job, good job, good job. Through the window, knocking on it. Hey.
Yep. The but
Right.
that's the layer. But it's so funny. Like we were saying about commutes and saving this hour and a half. Like that's almost just another layer of accessibility for people, right?
I have clients that have moved away who are now
Yes.
able to rejoin.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a client, a Strong Squad member who lives here but went to Florida to visit her dad because he was having surgery and then shelter in place happened and now she's in Florida, but she's able to still take class because of her online, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's out there and her whole life shifted, you know, as well. And so it's so I feel like I mean, right now there's nothing I can do because I'm waiting for science to call me and say, this is what you need to do. I'm not
Yes.
playing guessing games. I'm not going to guess how
Mhm.
this is going to work because my squad is too valuable to me and I care about them. That, and I also feel like as, you know, we are, as Pilates teachers as a place, I feel like we are also influencers for them, for us,
Yeah,
for our clients.
absolutely. Yes. It's good that
And
you mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
because
Go ahead.
they see us, right? They see us. And if I'm like, come on, everybody, I'm opening up, then that means that they'll be like, great. And then in their lives outside of the studio, they're taking other risks of like, well, Teresa opened, so now maybe it's okay for me to go do. I'm like,
Mhm. Mhm.
we are shut.
Yes.
And so they're like, okay, you know, I'm like, until we know, until Fauci calls me himself and says, Teresa, we opening up. I am like not gonna risk it, you know. Like
Right.
you know, looking at the other, you know, flu that went through in 1918, and I'm like, this is not. This is just the beginning, boo. We are at the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
It's only been what we're in 11 weeks now. It's not
Mhm.
soon. So, so yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I was gonna say, like, oftentimes we don't think about that responsibility that we carry as leaders in this fitness community, right? Like, people do hang off our every word sometimes.
We really do.
Yeah.
And first of all, that's a power. You know, we're like the wave your hands in the air. Like we could be that, like we could do that.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like we are those people because we're
Yeah.
telling them and they're doing it. And so I really think that sometimes people don't realize that. And like in order to empower your clients, you need to like, you know, do what's best, not only for yourself. And I get it that we need to make money, but also, is it worth it? Is it worth it if like your clients are dying from this thing? They ain't coming if they dead, you know?
Yeah.
So that's not worth it for me. But yeah, I want to be able to lead by example in a healthy way, to be like, I care about you and I will be online for as long as I need to. Like, I'm still available to you.
Yes.
But I need to protect you. I need to protect me. We need to protect the people that we love. This is not worth it. And the protocols that are being requested of people, like I'm watching people be like, I'm just going to silkwood my studio and everybody that rolls through. I'm like, oh my God. Like, that sounds stressful, and it doesn't even, and then it's like, well, what about the exercise? Like, then it takes away from the joy space.
Right.
And I want to be in the joy space. And so, you know, hosing down my studio and my equipment and my clients just to get them inside takes away the joy already. Right. And I'm like, no, that doesn't sound like fun for me.
No, exactly. You're all about the experience, like not just the technical move, but like the whole client experience and making it just amazing space for your community. Yeah.
I am. That's how life should be, right?
I concur.
Like, I laugh at myself all the time. Like, I think my son thinks I'm weird. Like, I was out in the garden yesterday making shade for my garden, and I messed up, and I was just like, oh, Teresa, and I just started laughing. And he was looking at me, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. You know, I'm just a weirdo. I'm just a weirdo trying to make some shade for the plants and, you know, loving life and my weird thought processes. And I just laugh a lot. I try to laugh every single day, you know, and I try to.
Doesn't sound like it's a real hard try.
Woo! Like, I've been laughing a lot these last 11 weeks, and I'm like, what is happening? I have to laugh to keep from crying. But trust, sometimes I laugh until I'm crying. But I really just try to laugh and like have some joy, because I'm realizing that is my baseline is joy. And and I'm like, and that's something that I realized during all of this, you know, like because of my confidence and because of like how I feel in my body and how I move through the world, I think that people like, you know, think that I'm a certain way, but I'm not. I'm a big old squishy that loves my people, you know? And so yeah, it's interesting, but I'm just a big old dork, like trying to like exist in the world for real.
What do you say to people who want to get into this Pilates industry now, starting from scratch?
Starting from scratch. I'm going to be like, it's hella white. I go, it's white. They're a little bit judgy, but if you get through the information and you get the information and you are going to use it for whatever you want to use it for, once you get through all of that, you're good. Like, you just got to get the knowledge because they have it. You know, and it's gonna challenge you in so many different ways, psychologically, physically, for sure. Like, I was so, you know, when I was training with Ruthie, and I would just burst into tears, and she was like, all right, you can't be frustrated right now. You need to be fascinated. And that's the one thing I took away from her. So I was fascinated. I was like, okay, just be fascinated by this right now. Like,
don't
why
be frustrated, be fascinated? Is that line?
Yeah, don't be frustrated, be fascinated.
Love it.
So yeah, so that's what I tell my strong squad. And so that part of me is like, why am I not? Because I feel like, you know, I'm pretty graceful and I'm pretty strong and I can do some shit. And there's some stuff that I cannot do. And I'm like, like lately my roll up.
How do you really feel about it?
Like, okay. And usually my roll-up's all, my roll-up's been like, it ain't happened, sis. I'm like, okay. So I had to figure out why, you know, like, why is my roll-up so shitty right now? And so I would tell people, like, just know that, you know, the environment that you're going into, specifically if they're a person of color or a queer person, like the environment that you're going into is the complete opposite of how you live and how we live, you know?
Yes, right.
But the information there is gold, and, you know, you're going to learn so much about yourself, about your body, what you can and cannot do. And it's all amazing. And it's going to challenge you. You're going to have epiphanies. You're going to cry. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be all of the things. And then you got to take a damn test. And then you're going to be like, oh God.
And you'll be like me. And then you're going to fail that test and learn about resilience, and then come back and feel better about yourself.
Exactly. You know, and so I think that if I was telling someone, I'm like, and it's just like, if you really want something, right, in life, like, just go for it. Just be in the moment and just go and get it. But I really think, like, out of all of the fitness modalities, and I've done a lot in regards to as a teacher and as a student, yoga makes my body hurt more for me and my body. And so Pilates is the one thing that actually my body is like, I love this. And I'm like, oh, yes. Like, I had no idea. I remember the first time I tried it outside of Ruthie, my friend who lived in Sebastopol. She put me on her reformer. I was like, and I was sitting up so tall driving home, and I felt my spine starting to contract within that hour's drive. And I was like, oh my God, like, what is this thing?
Yes.
You know, and I got home and I was like, I felt myself, my spine, I was so upright. And now I was like, and now I'm back to being this slouchy mess. And what is this thing? And I need to get some. And
Give
then,
me more. Yeah.
What, 15 years later, now I am teaching it. So it's good. I love it.
It's awesome. Teresa, we have a minute left. And
1 minute.
1 minute and 20 seconds. So I just want to take some time just to say thank you so much while you get your dance on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I love it that we both have the same hairdo.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Core Conversations. This organic platform has been made possible by amazing people like yourself. So if you're a Pilates instructor or a movement specialist of some kind and you want to be a guest, please message me. If you're in some other field and the messages just resonate with you, message me. I'd love to have you on. All of our messages connect, and for some reason they all help us in this battle. We're all in this game together, so I'd love to hear from you. Let your words be life to someone else. Check out our website, personalvictory.ca. Click the Core Conversations page to see who our upcoming guests are, and I will see you next time on Core Conversations.